things of that nature. I think it was a celebration, but it was disorganized because it wasn't organized from the state or from the Fed standpoint. It's almost like, okay, we gave you a holiday, now go do something with it. Right. Whereas every other holiday is structured, they have plans, they have flybys. Imagine if they would have did something on more of a grander scale to kick it off because it was the first one. Like something in DC, a parade, or something like that. Yeah. But they didn't do it. So that's what I meant by placate. And for everything Biden does for everybody else, he's starting to get like President Obama was. He's great for everybody else. And I just want to see something that's done for us and hold people's feet to the fire. The president hasn't came back and pushed the governor. Why not hold back some funding from states like Georgia who are rolling back the clocks of time, doesn't want to teach what actually happened in America's history.
Right. That's
hold back school funding for that. But they're not doing anything that puts any teeth in it. So like I said, they gave us a holiday. Okay, you get a day off. But there was no public announcement. It was nothing unless you already woke. A lot of people, like you said, didn't even know.
Right.
And you had black people asking Juneteenth, didn't even know what it was. That's black people, so white people don't know, but there was no mass announcement or anything putting it out there.
Right. So to that point, and I just want to just address that last part about it. I think that's a bigger damaging assessment to the culture and the state of the country. Mm-hmm. Bigger than them, doing a kickoff. You know what I mean? That's fine and dandy, but the fact that, again, like I said a minute ago, 1865, it's 2022. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we as a people, and I mean as a whole, we as a people aren't aware of this holiday, was a holiday now, but this momentous occasion that that it's not celebrated and it's not told yet, and it goes back to the CRT lie. Mm-hmm. And the Christopher Columbus lie. We are still celebrating July 4th,
right,
which we know is a lie.
Right.
We're still celebrating Columbus Day, mm-hmm, which we know is a lie.
It's about the rape.
And actually, if you want to know for sure, they still had slaves in Georgia. They might still got slaves in Georgia. I know it was. They got documentaries. Yeah, but they got documentaries with people that even in the 70s did not know that slavery was over. Like they was in small pockets. And they was freed still in the 70s, 1970s, not 1870s. In small pockets in Georgia, I think even in Alabama, but they be small pockets of plantation owners. I'm telling you, they got areas where it was straight.
Bullshit on that one.
I promise, I will bet you money. You got to give me a little time to go find this documentary, but they got documentaries of people who was, of course they not official slaves, but they was in areas where they did not feel like they could go home. And they knew a certain boundary.
They know that's all they ever known.
Right.
But you gotta look at just how jacked up our governor is. Because now, as we know it right now, if it was a school year, and just say this holiday fell on a school day, no teacher could sit in her classroom and teach the history of Juneteenth or say anything about Juneteenth because of our governor. So remember that when you sitting on your ass and decide not to vote and think your vote doesn't matter. We have a governor.
No, 15 states. 15 states completely won't even acknowledge Juneteenth.
Yeah.
15 states won't even acknowledge it. 15 states didn't get holidays.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's United States of America.
How many states recognize Martin Luther King Day? It's some of them that don't recognize that.
They all do now, but there was some that
Arizona.
Yeah, they lost too much.
Oh,
they took so much away from them. You know what I mean? But my point is that as a culture, because of what you just said, is not they refuse to teach it in the schools. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
a teacher can't.
So how is this? We don't, but I think that's something that can be demanded from the voting, from situations, because how are we not allowing it to be taught in schools?
Because every holiday has a lesson.
Every holiday has a
got a
lesson.
lesson. Even Thanksgiving.
Every one of
got
them.
a lesson from growing up. You supposed to trace your hand and draw a turkey. We all did that growing up. So I think Juneteenth, I mean, and it's good that at least it ain't in Black History Month, right? That way you can have a black lesson outside of February.
Right.
It's got a chance to talk about us outside of February. So I mean, but
we're
then
not.
school is out in June anyway, so that's why they did it too, because they were like, we ain't really never got to talk about it.
Well, that's what they
in
did.
class.
That's when it occurred.
Right,
You know what I mean?
but
So
they never gotta-
you know, just, but don't mean you can't talk about it.
Only the kids in summer school. They're the ones slow anyway. But it's gonna uplift all the slow kids.
Well, you know, but like Virginia, they just got out last week. And I went to my nephew's graduation. They just got out of school last Thursday. It was their last day of school.
Well,
You know what I mean? So you got some schools that can still get out later than others. They still got in
but,
jail.
just the fact in this country, it's like critical race theory is not going to be taught in Georgia, and everybody's okay with that outside of the metro, and even in the metro Atlanta area, it's more so one of those things where certain school systems, Gwinnett, Cobb, let's see what they do. But you having a generation that didn't know about it, and now it's gonna continue. So nothing's gonna change in America until things are forced. Now, as soon as this is gonna sound racial, but it's not. As soon as 9 massage workers, like the ones in Brookhaven, they're working at the same type of establishments, were killed, the president stopped the world, stopped America, and said, hey, look, we're not gonna have this. Now it's a federal crime. Black people get slaughtered like dogs. Somebody drives 400 miles, and that same thing didn't come over him because it's always been accepted in America.
right.
It's always been
So
accepted.
basically,
but
that's
do you
just a
think-
message that say, hey, white brothers, don't kill this one. It's okay to kill
but
this, but
you know, on the
these
serious
off
note,
limits.
yeah.
Like it's
Right.
rabbit season, duck season.
No, but on a serious note, it's bigger than a lot of people think, because think about it. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in that case. That kid may go out and say, I'm crazy or whatever, but if he would have enacted that law, it would have been out of a liberal or state level. It would have been a federal level case,
Right.
and he would have been going for the death penalty.
Yeah,
But see,
that's it.
people don't realize the seriousness of it, and if you're a fool to think that's going to be the last time a black man is killed in America, and it's racial overtones on it. So the president didn't do anything about it. You have a governor sitting here that doesn't want you to talk about it. So, how far have we really gone? If you look, a lot of people didn't know about it. People still don't know about it. The only thing people are going to know, Juneteenth, oh yeah, that's the day slaves are freed, and yeah, that's when slavery ended in America. Guaranteed, watch the lies over the next 6 months where people are commenting on it, or if you go to different sites and see the comments that the Caucasians are making, because they don't know.
Right.
They really don't know.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I say we talking about we the people, you know what I mean? We don't know. So how you expect the Caucasian to know if the black folk don't
But
even
my
know?
point is, that's the governor. He's trying to keep the real word and what actually happened.
Don't you
what
think it's
occurred.
bigger than that part? I think is bigger than the governor, though. That's
I just know. I'm just saying that because Stacey Abrams running against his ass. I'm
yeah.
gonna keep on harping on that.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but he's only been in office for 4 years. This again, I want to reiterate 1865.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate the fact that we literally celebrate other holidays. You know what I mean? Even if somebody says it's a drinking day, well, you want to go flood the bars to go drink.
Right.
At least
And
go
drink
do
at
it.
black bars
Drink at
and-
black
right,
bars.
right.
Wear your black and green and celebrate Juneteenth.
Right.
Still celebrate it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We celebrate everybody else. Why? I just don't understand
But
how
like
we're
when you say
lacking
the
that.
places that Juneteenth was already being celebrated, it was all places in the South. Like I'm from St. Louis in the Midwest, and that was not nothing on our radar really like that. And my people was from Detroit, so they had already been north. It wasn't like we was coming from the South. We was coming.
But Detroit celebrates it.
Right,
Detroit
well,
one of the
but
states that
Detroit
celebrate.
got like one of them histories of blackness that's, you know what I'm saying, it's more of a black heritage there. That's, I would think like Detroit, Atlanta, New Orleans, you know what I'm saying, them people, even like some of the blackest people that I done met was like in Georgia, like Savannah area where them Geechee people be, they know their history like the back of their hand, like, and that's a blackness that I never got in St. Louis as just a black American, you like, these people know their history. They still speak a language. They got a whole culture that, you know what I'm saying? They
I think it's taught down in the South a lot more because you got HBCUs. Was that taught at Clark?
Yeah.
It's taught at HBCUs. You know what I mean? They're gonna teach.
I don't remember them teaching that at Hampton though.
Really?
But Hampton kind of bougie, and I got kicked out after 1 year, so I can't. Maybe they taught that.
You might not have made it that course.
Yeah, maybe that was in the sophomore history lesson. I ain't get to that part, but.
Was it taught at Nova State #1 fan? I'm curious to know. Was that how was that taught in HBCUs? I'm curious to know that. And I want to know if anybody in the education system. Go ahead. Anybody in the education system does the superintendent of schools? Do they not control their education curriculum?
No, that's what the governor has done.
The superintendent can't control it at all.
Yeah, the governor.
The governor said he's going to pull funds and things from the school
if you do it.
If you do.
Wow.
But your president didn't come back and say, well, if you do that, we're going to pull funding from all Georgia schools because it's really not that important to anybody. It was just like throwing shit up on the wall and hoping it sticks. Just appeasers and appeaser. Nobody looks at the seriousness of it. Being in law enforcement, I see former law enforcement, and you can attest to Lo, is the seriousness of putting something where you got federal charge mandatory on your ass just for doing it. And the feds are going to have to look at it. It's going to be investigated by the FBI. So all these people that are always protesting, imagine if every single police shooting or anything involving an allegation of racial bias automatically is going to be investigated by the FBI. It's going to be out of the hands of any local department. That's big.
Right, that's a big
He's yet
step
to do that.
I agree.
And the only reason I'm harping on him and not the other, 24 presidents that had a shot ahead of him is because he's done it twice. He did it for Asians and he did it for Pacific Islanders.
Right, but
and
no president has really been
Asians being prosecuted. Persecuted, I mean. You don't.
Was there any president that was like great for black people? Like where we was like, that's our man, he cares.
Well, everybody said Clinton was the first black president until we finally got one.
Right.
That's what the word was.
But people
more black people got locked up under behind him.
He read some of the harshest drug laws. One of it's a kilo and 28 grams is the same thing because of him.
Right.
And your current president.
Right.
Your current president was on that bill also. So people acting like Biden's this great savior. Biden's a piece of shit.
I don't know who's acting like that. I think we all just voted for
the thoughts of asking Copper, not the thoughts of Classic Conversations. Just in case the Secret Service listens to that.
He's skinning and grinning. But my whole point is, let's hold him to a standard. And I just think when you get elected and you're making yourself out to be this great savior of people, oh, I'm going to act quick. Those Asians got killed. Where was the same outcry when a white kid drives 400 miles and slaughters some black people?
He desensitized to that because they've been killing little black kids since he was little. He probably got to see one of them kids hanging in his time.
Most definitely.
As old as Biden is, he probably done been to a lynching. Somewhere down deep, he done been to one.
I'm not even trying to say that he's racist. I'm not even saying that. I know he's done a lot of work, but what I see is he was very, very, very pro-law enforcement. He passed several laws and took part in several laws that incarcerated a lot of African-American males. So he's seen it all. He's seen the stats. Now you have a situation where with a stroke of a pen, he can change everything in America overnight. Because once it becomes a federal crime, everything's different. When a police officer decides to go, say if he said something before I beat your ass, if I was a white cop and said nigger, now it's a hate crime and it's going to be investigated by the FBI. They can have your body cam. And how many times are you going to be able to, or the cops have recently were sending the messages back and forth on the MDTs, and it was racial. Well, what that should have opened up, if he would have passed that law, they could have went back and looked at every single arrest those officers made, because you can't say that I wish I could, I can't wait till the race war starts and I'm going to start killing, I can't wait for it to start, and you don't look at that officer's arrest. How can that person not be biased?
Right.
And like I said, the man has an opportunity to do it. If he hadn't did it already, I wouldn't even be talking about this. Because of President Obama could have did it. He did. On the second, not expecting on the first term, but on the second term. But Biden went out there over 2 people. He was grandstanding just like he's doing in that fake-ass war in Russia. It ain't got nothing to do with America. He's just throwing shit up in the air and hoping it sticks to the wall to take away from his bad record.
They feel like they done did everything for black people that they gonna do when they put Kamala on the ballot. They were like, black people happy. We ain't got to do nothing else for black people. We represented you. That's all they feel. They were like, that's good enough. That's a placation right there.
So let me ask you this question then, based on that statement. Is that their fault 100%, or is that our fault in terms of what we asked for / demand?
I mean, personally, I was so pissed off this year. And I was just like, as a person who is only 40, I'm just like, why is we picking between 2 people who on their deathbed to lead the country? To me, it don't make sense. Like, okay, you look to a certain age for wisdom, but anybody with sense, once you 70-something, you be like, that crazy old person. I ain't finna be living my life like my great-grandmama tell me to live. Great-grandmama scary as hell. She be like, look both ways before you cross the street. Life would be slow as hell if you waiting on a 70-year-old person for guidance. Like, come on, man. Don't nobody have the hardest job that they gonna have in their life once they pass 70. Right? Right? Who over here want their hardest job at 70-something?
Nah, nobody.
Not nobody on this panel. So you automatically know. They ain't working that hard at 70. Whatever it is, they filling pockets. To me, it just was backwards in the beginning. And to have me pick between 2 75+ white men,
I think
that's the same decision. That's the same decision regardless.
Go ahead, go ahead, Sunshine.
I think it was their fault as a whole, or whoever created the structure in which we live in America, because black people technically don't have a true nationality. You can't grant reparations to somebody or a people who don't even have a correct category to be in. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of legally impossible for us to get reparations when we're not even considered people.
Well, that's a great point. We're considered people. You're linked in as American,
right?
Where the Asians are separated.
Pacific Islanders.
Pacific Islanders. They're separated. We're not separated like that. Right. At least in the main spectrum, anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. But I guess my question is, if you have the proper voices, right? Like you say, vote between, 2 75-year-old white men. All right, that's the presidency. But I think where we lack and miss at is the old concept. My man B. Marsh always said, think globally, vote locally, because the president, for the most part, is only as powerful as the Senate and the House. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Our fault is we keep electing, these other white men to be in charge. Right. That's why you have a Kemp in office.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because of this is what, our people failed to get out there and vote, right? We had somebody in place, we failed to get out there and vote, and we allowed this dude to win.
Now they stole the election a little bit. Now it wasn't like it was all on the up and up. It wasn't infallible win.
Yeah, they said they was having mail-in ballots from people who passed away already. It was just a lot going on. This was the messiest presidential election I witnessed.
Yeah. Biden's flawed. It was more a vote against Trump than it was a vote for Biden. And then but I'm just totally the moves he could make. If he already made that move, how can he sleep at night and not make it?
But let me ask you this question though, because
if you 70-something years old, you sleeping during the day and at night. He don't got to pick his time. Sleep chooses him.
You come down hard on the president a lot, right? But are you saying that you would rather him ignore, even if it's just a placard like you just said? Is that not still better than doing nothing?
Well, okay.
I mean, let's say
I look at it like, okay, I'm just gonna be real about it. Okay, you had, was it 9? Because I don't want to disrespect them. 9 people of Asian descent were killed in Atlanta at massage parlors, pretty much like the one in Brookhaven that was just raided by the police.
So they were killed in 1 week, or was that all one incident? It was one incident.
That white dude went around and killed all.
He went to a couple of them.
Yeah, he went to a couple of them, killed them. Now, his immediate reaction to that was to hold a press conference and less than 5 days later get a law enacted that protected Asian Americans against hate crimes.
But who passed it, though? Who passed it?
Okay.
He enacted it, but who passed
Okay.
it?
All right. Okay.
Quickly.
But my point is this then. At least, prove me wrong.
Go ahead.
You put it in there. Now, if they voted down, we know who each and every one of the motherfuckers is. But you don't even put it forward.
But no, they do have bills that they have put forward.
No,
they
but
just haven't passed the
I'm
George
talking
Floyd
about
bill,
this.
the John Lewis. But let me say this, the John Lewis bill. Like these bills are in House of Representatives. They passed the House. They passed the House. These bills have passed the House. They do not pass the Senate. And the Senate is controlled.
Been done. The difference was, as soon as this travesty occurred in New York, what he did was immediately hit the black churches and go and speak. But on the same token, I was waiting for 5 days later for him to come out and put the same bill out. Now, if he would have put the same bill out, do you think those same people would have the gonads to vote against it?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yes.
Listen,
Like, if you
listen,
do it right now, you
they
can
do it. No, let me say
do it without
this.
even
They got
blinking.
Do it right now while it's a hot topic.
Listen.
Hey,
Think about like this. Hold on, let me say this. Right now, unfortunately, right now in the Senate, there is as many Republicans as there is Democrats. It's the exact same number. Not to mention, it's the same number. It's for Republican thinking Democrats. Like they're basically, they ran on a Democratic nomination, but they're Republicans.
But they vote Republican, basically.
Right.
So basically, these bills are getting shot down because you have to have the majority. They don't have the majority. It's just unfortunately. So that's why I say we put the blame on him when he's he's a puppet. Like he's a puppet. The
Yeah.
House and the Senate are the people who pass the bills.
Period.
That's just how it works.
That's true.
And these guys do not get along.
Obama did
These
have
guys are
no
not
problem.
looking out for the best interests of the country. It's in places like Kentucky. It's in places like South Carolina.
agree
It's
with
like
what
it's
you're
places
saying.
like Texas. It's places like Florida. These people have large populations.
They do the Florida.
They have large. But you got to think, MJ. You got to think these places. But let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. The fact that we still have to go based off of the Senate in the House of Reps, that's the problem.
Right.
The problem that we
system
put,
needs to be
the whole system needs to be
No,
destroyed.
you gotta have that system.
Why? You got people like Mitch McConnell who is out of date. His state is out of date. Everything in Kentucky is slow. And he doesn't care. He doesn't want to move the agenda forward. He doesn't even want to help his own state out. But the difference is
100%
it's more
agree with
white
that.
people in Kentucky who believe in Mitch McConnell than there is black people that will ever be in there to vote for somebody else. The same thing in South Carolina. They had a great candidate and he could not get elected because there are more white people in South Carolina than there are black people in South Carolina. Sometimes it's not about the policies, it's about the money. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but like I said, the system needs to be destroyed.
That's like you have black people that were shot down the streets like dogs, or supermarket like dogs. Okay, you can put forth something when it's just, we're going to put this through. And anytime you put any bill through, you got 19 different things hanging on to it also. So what a Republican can do is say, I'm not really vetoing that, but they got the fact that you can't walk your dog on Sundays in there.
Right.
And they always marry it up to something.
Something else that's
What
right.
he did with that bill was put it together where it's on itself. And I'm just saying, when you goddamn got to do some fucked up shit and stand up and own it, it's a big difference. And when you got that backlash and everybody in America is outraged because people were hunted down and killed like dogs, and then you put something forward, okay, I'm not saying it would have passed. I'm hoping it would, but if you put it forth during that time period, it's a big difference than putting it on a bill that's got 19 other things attached to it. Come on.
But the George Floyd hate bill crime didn't pass, MJ, and the man was killed in front of the world. You just said if they should do it there, if they put it out there and it got killed.
No, to me the difference in those two was, there's no difference really, but I just look at it differently, that America is a system of oppression. Okay? Floyd gave everybody an out because Floyd, gave racist people, I should say, not everybody, gave racist people out because, why didn't he just comply, or why didn't he do this? Okay? Those 8 people that were in that grocery store were going about their normal lives and were killed solely because they were black. They were shot down. Floyd was a police action, handled wrong, but it was a police action. You can't put those people in the same level as Floyd, because not saying, please people, I'm not saying.
But it's about the hate crime though. But it's about the hate crime in itself.
I understand that.
The hate crime wouldn't apply to Floyd, is what he's saying. It would be a police thing.
Put forward when you got somebody, you had an old lady who gave her whole life for civil rights, gunned down by a racist kid that drove 400 miles and was able to buy a gun. Okay, so let's harp on that. That's the one to run for the touchdown with.
Yeah, I feel you there. I do.
That's
feel
all
you there.
I'm saying. You know, because
if it
you got
was
a lot
anyone
of
that
people
you gonna guarantee,
that aren't gonna rock with Floyd simply because he.
But they had a whole church gunned down not too long ago. They had a white boy that came and gunned down the church.
So what black senator is going to bring forth this bill? This is because that's the question. Because this is what I'm saying. Like we don't have the numbers. We don't. It's not even that many. It might be 10 black senators. You know what I'm saying? So think about it like that.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, then how did the Asian bill get passed?
It's probably like 15 of them. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was passed unanimously on both sides.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, but Asians ain't never been a threat to the white
community,
to the white structure.
Right.
I forgot
They ain't
what
never
Floyd's
been
bill
threatened
had
by
on it.
Asians like they have by black men.
No one fan could probably look it up, but Floyd's bill had something else on it. It wasn't by itself. I forgot what it was.
What about John Lewis's bill?
It has something on it also.
I agree with you that
they do.
the system as a whole is an issue.
So
It's an issue. It's an issue. You know, electoral
you got
college
people who making the laws, and all the laws don't even apply to them.
Yeah.
They making laws, and they don't. They already outside the law when they make it. So that's like
because
your parents telling you what to do.
Right.
They still see us as less than.
Correct.
At the end of the day,
I agree.
They still consider us as less than.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And the Asian bill got passed quickly because they don't see them that way.
Right. Yeah.
They see them as a contributor.
Correct.
And they see the relationship they have with you know the country and the debt that they owe, and you know what I mean. All those things play a role. It's a money. It's always a money. You got you follow the money trail.
Right.
It's always you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What do we have?
Not a lot of money.
And the money we have is still so divided. You know what I'm saying? Not like, and I've always said, our great churches don't do enough because they're worried about their tax break.
Correct.
Right.
They'll sell it. They sell us out too. They sell us out for the tax break.
Yep.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's why I said earlier. That's why I asked the question earlier about is it them or is it us?
It's us.
I think it's both.
You know what I mean?
No.
We don't do what do we demand? What do we?
Yeah. What do we ask for?
And we demand that, and we don't demand that for the president. You demand that from your senator.
Correct.
You demand that from your congressman.
Correct.
You demand that from your secretary of your education people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who knows who's on the board of education in your county?
Correct.
Do you know any of them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what we fail at.
But the thing
Correct.
is, sometimes you just trying to navigate through the forest. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. It's like, okay, I live in the hood. It be so much trash up and down Cleveland Avenue that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't in my yard. But hell, I already got a 40-hour-a-week job. I'm another 30-hour-a-week comic, and then I be volunteering, let alone the little ladies I be trying to have on the side. Man, I ain't got time to be worried about the garbage on the way in and out of my neighborhood.
But let me say this: you're right. People have to take pride in their stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have communities, but the communities that we have, we don't take pride in them. We don't do the extra. We don't go out of our way to make sure this place looks nice.
Right.
Like how you like your stuff to look nice. You know what I'm saying? We don't treat it as such. So that's why I said we do ourselves a disservice. How can we ask for stuff and we don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Contribute to changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have to ask. You know, that's how I look at it. We shouldn't have to ask people to clean up our own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be mad at the potholes and all that other stuff, but like you said, the actual trash is along the gutters, so they don't even want to come cut over here or blow and make sure that, you know, everything's straight, because you're not making sure it's straight.
Oh,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
the other day I was out at the park walking, and I guess somebody done took the baseball field and just set off all fireworks, but they left all the stuff in there. So I'm walking past the base, and I'm like, see, that's just some ignorant, you know how it is. I'm like, these niggas ain't. I'm like, why y'all just got big old firework boxes all on the baseball field now? So now they be like, the city will get it, but I'm like, I wouldn't. Anytime we ever shot off fireworks, they would always be like, okay, you gonna clean up the block when you finish. It wasn't no go shoot fireworks. You went out there with a trash bag, and swept up your block when you was over with. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some of it is just, you know, it just be sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm too busy to be picking up these Negroes' trash too. Like, I ain't got time to do it either.
Yeah.
But my yard ain't got no trash on it.
You're saying that, but other communities have pickup days.
Wow.
Where I live, we do.
This is my first time hearing of a pickup day.
Seriously?
I never even heard of that before.
Yeah, we have a trash pickup day.
If I do a pickup day, I'm going to drop it off at the Negroes I know doing all this litter. I'm going to dump this trash on somebody's doorstep. And I'm like, I know this, y'all. You the only one eating Little Caesar every day. It's 5 Little Caesar boxes in the street now.
I see you outside with the firecrackers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think there's some things that we are the problem. At the end of the day, man, we still, you know, we don't help ourselves enough. I guess what I'm saying. I don't think we help ourselves enough. We don't, you know, we have all these opportunities, you know, and we got billionaires. You know what I mean? We got the money is there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's power there, but it only comes out in certain instances and then it disappears. You know what I mean? While the other folks, they don't stop fighting.
Right.
They don't stop fighting till they get what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't think we have that same drive, that same, you know, for, you know, just like the CRT. I don't care who's in charge. There should be enough black, powerful people, starting with our churches, our governments, that that should not be allowed to not happen. You know what I mean? They should be fighting Kemp and any other governor that doesn't allow that stuff to be taught. You know what I mean? And then to think about we passing a holiday that 15 states won't even acknowledge.
Mm-hmm. Right. But the holiday is about slavery, which seems like it will counteract the critical race. Like how you gonna have one without the other?
How you gonna have one without the other? Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How are we saying we're not going to teach these kids this? You know what I mean?
So what are you teaching in the first? Because when is the slavery amendment? Like 15th or something? So how is you teaching the history? You know what I'm saying? When the amendments, because you teaching history.
They're teaching history.
So the amendment on slavery got to be a topic,
right? The new history says that they weren't slaves. They were brought over here for a better way of life.
Oh, hell no.
They trying to erase the real history.
No, I would be like,
that's what they're teaching.
That's what they're teaching.
They were brought over here for a better way
of life.
And they're still looking for it.
That's what
they're still searching for it. It still be like ... to be continued.
To be continued.
And if a teacher steps out and does the right thing, she's going to be censured by her principal, because at the end of the day, the governor's going to pull back funding from any school that does teach outside of it.
For a better way of life. And somebody put that in a book.
Yes. Right. They put it in the book.
Yes. Hey, you ask Tyra when next they see it.
I thought they was just gonna stop talking about slavery a lot. They done reorganized the whole.
They changed it.
Yeah, my mom told me.
They're instructing them to teach that.
Mm-hmm.
They're instructing us. So, and if you as a teacher, what she said, what she has to do is she has to write a letter to all the parents and say, you know, I'm gonna discuss this. If you don't want your child to learn this, these are the days you got to pull them out of class.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what they actually want you to teach. They come here for a better way of life because they don't want the kids to feel bad.
So can you teach?
That's what they say. They don't want to feel bad. Kim said that.
But you don't
want them to feel
actually have
bad.
to tell them that Columbus discovered America. You can teach them the facts about Columbus.
Right.
Oh no, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna teach you that
Right, but I'm
Columbus
saying if a teacher wanted to be
was a
like
great
keep
guy.
it real about Columbus, you don't have to say Columbus was a great guy.
And I
dude.
wish you would go back. One of the white kid go home and say, "Mama, they said Columbus used to eat people."
Right, slave trader and everything. Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? It never landed in the United States. He never landed here. You know what I mean? The whole thing is a lie.
if you told the truth about everything else, it wouldn't even matter what you told about slavery, because the story would still be there.
Right.
But the fact that they still lying about everything and slavery, then it ain't nothing to hold on to.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Kinda
that case,
confused.
when it comes like, what is the civil rights
And
movement
see,
about?
until you have that though, until you have the truth being taught, it's easy for somebody to excuse actions and forgetting so things have changed. But if you just see how fucked up it was, then people are gonna look at it differently. Like now, the reason why law enforcement changed, let's be real about it. Police been whooping ass since the dawn of time in America. It stopped, number one, Rodney King.
With
And
video
number
camera.
two, video cameras.
Video camera.
And Rodney
Camera.
King was video camera.
Well, that was actually dash cams. Dash cams did that. Police did it to themselves. But that's what brought about the change. And so if you actually started teaching the history, and like you got to look at it, you know, kids are, there's lace hatred in the hearts of kids now because they grow up and they actually know each other. It's not a situation where they're passed like ships in the dark. I'm Martin Brett, I grew up all over, but I see the difference in kids. So imagine if a kid grew up knowing the truth about slavery, black or white, Asian, everybody, they're gonna look at it different. Anybody that's been in the military can attest to it. I had a dude from Tennessee says, man, I grew up, I'm not being funny, you know, we're sitting around at night and everybody's sitting in bed and talking. He said, I heard y'all had tails. I really thought y'all were gonna have tails.
Oh no, they believe that.
Yeah, and they actually believed it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
In
They
Germany,
thought we were
they
gonna
believe that,
have
John.
tails.
They believe
Yeah.
if rub your head, rub black person
Good
head,
luck.
get good
Good
luck.
luck. Yeah.
They believe on it.
What?
So was talked to
I
them.
heard of that before.
Yeah, so
So they
those
say you
are the
thought you
things-
had what? Tents?
Tail.
Tail.
They thought black people grew tails at night.
Yeah.
And white people are the ones who really got
Right.
tails. How they gonna-
That's what I'm
So you
saying.
They don't even tell you the statistics about how many white tails they
I really think the
Right.
They be
truth on
cutting
any
off
level
6 fingers
is
off, but
good,
white
and
people
the
got
truth
tails.
came
They
out,
do.
you see a change. And I hate
That's
to
the
say it, but what it's
DNA
going to take,
mutation.
and I listen teachers out there, what it's going to take is some teachers being a sacrificial fucking lamb. Some teachers going to have to step out and teach the truth and see what the school system does to them. And maybe give it to Civil Liberties Union or somebody ahead of time like they did in the 60s and already have the lawyers set up, not for bond because they're not going to arrest her, but have it for any legal action and push it to the courts that way. Because now you're going to have in court, make sure she follows a curriculum that's actually backed up, nothing where it's her personal or his personal opinion, but actual documented facts, teach it, and then you sit there, have the governor, whoever do what they're going to do, or the local school board or whoever take action against her, and then fight it. That's what's going to bring about change.
I mean, because facts is facts. Even
It's
if you
good.
say they brought these people over here for a better way of life. Now, I will say as a disclaimer, almost all of them died on the way.
Right.
And then once they got here, they beat them and whipped them and
Right.
treated them like dogs and made mothers
But you have
and
to say they
sons.
almost died over here because they all chained together in the bottom of the ship.
But then
Right.
you
I
gotta
mean,
look at
in their own feces and all. You know,
Right. So you still, I said what you wanted me to say, but then I still.
And see,
And they were like, well, if
another
they really liked them, why did they do all that? Well,
But see,
ask
also,
Governor Kemp.
imagine in the South. I'm on the serious side on this. But if you look at it from the standpoint, imagine in the South, if you had little black kids growing up and they're sitting in the classroom with the white kids, and because everybody white when the little thinks they own slaves. No, that was like owning a Lamborghini. How many people you know own a Lamborghini? Very few. Okay, but if they would have heard from an early age, we'd have, and see, this is where America shoots itself in the foot. If I'm 100%, I say African American, but I'm an American 100%. You know why? Because I know everything this country has was built on the blacks as slaves. And that means from the cotton gin, Eli doing that, and all the money that was generated from slavery and the work that slaves did. So even though you don't want to look at it as a positive, you got to look at the fact that everything America has, it owes to African Americans. And if you teach that, these little black kids that's running, the little uncleans that's running around shooting each other, stabbing each other, because they don't know their self-worth.
They don't have the value.
Pride.
Absolutely.
They don't have the value. So if you start teaching it, the pride would have it. So what it's going to happen, teachers out there, you're going to have to, like, I guarantee you, one of them be that white dude that always comes. He'll probably be one of the ones that steps outside his comfort zone and teaches it anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to have to take punitive action being taken against somebody for teaching the truth, not your personal opinion. You got to be 100% fact driven. And then kids growing up hearing that and dealing with that are going to have a better opinion of themselves, and you couldn't possibly kill another king or queen if you saw yourself as that. I'm just saying.
So it sounds like we're moving to black charter schools. You know what I'm saying? Or to like a black version of a private school that's only.
But you don't even need that. Listen. The city of Atlanta public schools, you went to a city of Atlanta school, right? What did they teach you? Did Juneteenth ever come up in any conversations?
Never.
What did they teach you about Christopher Columbus?
He founded America.
This is how many white people in your school?
One.
So what I'm saying, a black curriculum school, not just.
No. My point is, if you have a school that's all black, that means everybody from the principal to the janitor. You know what I mean? And you're saying that, so if you're going to say somebody going to step up, why wouldn't my whole school step up? Why would not the superintendent, who has always been, for the most part, black in the city of Atlanta? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're saying that nobody will do it.
But
don't put it on one teacher. I want my superintendent to say, listen, this is what we doing.
Okay, it's just like
Right.
It's just like Rosa Parks. It's the first people to do something always stand out, the Mega Evers of the world. But what I'm saying is, and I disagree with black charter schools, because it's something that has to be taught to everybody. Because one thing
I agree with that. It needs to be taught to
American
everybody.
Indians, you haven't seen being fucked over is taken to a different level. When you look, if you ever go out west and you fuck around and went pheasant hunting in South Dakota, and you see how the Indians are treated, and I was like, well, goddamn. And it's still being treated. So if you had little white kids and everybody grew up and learned the truth, not just about blacks, but about Columbus, the genocide that occurred, the Indian Wars when they put smallpox in blankets and gave it out to the Indians. Things of those nature, when they see that, and they see the genocide, and they see Trail of Tears, they see the relocation of what is it? It's not Nez Perce, but like which one from Atlanta? The ones that are in Georgia, the Indians. Anyway, they were relocated to Florida. So imagine your world is here, and it's just like slavery. Right. And a lot of those people, or when you go to the Americas, if you hear the whole truth, and the only reason they brought slaves over because their diseases were killing the Indians. The Indians couldn't be slave labor. They're smaller people, and they brought us over. That's why South America has black people now, was because they went there. It doesn't make sense to get slaves when you can go to the West Indies and bring them over from there. And so letting the truth, if people know the truth, and I'm okay, you can't believe in God and don't look at his goodness. And when you look at, if you start telling the truth to his children, and they see the unfiltered truth, and they see just how messed up America was in treating all of its citizens, not just African Americans, I think a lot of people will more than not do the right thing.
So I agree with you. Now, when it comes to critical race theory as a whole, that is for all of America. But when it comes to empowering young black kids to appreciate themselves and to find value in themselves, that's where I'm saying a black charter school will be better at it. Because ain't no mixed school gonna be like, we go empower this young black man. That's never gonna be the government's
I think it goes back to, and Lo hits on a lot, and I hit on a lot. Until black churches start getting involved, instead of sitting in your pew and having a good rhyme and a couple good songs, maybe if you have a 30-minute period each day for the whole congregation, and definitely in Sunday school, where you teach Juneteenth or what actually happened, teach different aspects of slavery, and you teach it to the whole congregation, so everybody's listening, because they're going to follow the preacher's word. And then you know what I would do if I hear something, because anytime, like I've been on this show, and we've had some pretty cool people, like the one brother that came in, the last ones, and when he comes in, I don't buy into that shit. You know what I do? When I get in the car, I'm like, look that up tomorrow. I get about 3 or 4 notes I got to do follow-up on. So if a preacher came out and said it, imagine those kids sitting there, woo. And so now when those kids go out and they go to school, they're going to be like little prophets. Because in June, hey, we're going to be all Monday, we ain't got to go to school, we ain't got to go to school. That kid's say, well, you know why? And that kid's going to say it. So churches used to be the foundation of every black community.
Yeah.
They have to start wanting that again.
Yeah.
And as parishioners, we need to start demanding that of our churches. Quit teaching prosperity and teach the word. I'm off my soapbox.
Hey, with that, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, man. We'll be right back and go to this last topic.
Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations which way to rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Everything you know.
Hey, we back. So, we're gonna kind of do a dual topic right here, man, on this final segment. But the first one we're gonna talk about is the 1980, 1982 Heisman Trophy winner,
Herschel.
Mr. Herschel Walker, running for state senator. I don't know if you've seen some of the things that Herschel Walker has said. I know you say you don't watch a lot of TV, weight ball. But
I heard something about snake something.
But this guy has made some of the most idiotic, I don't even know how to say it, idiotic statements that you ever imagined.
Incoherent. Yeah.
And incoherent. You know, the man said, I love the commercial that Warnock ran when they let the man just talk. When they said, you can go into a room, and when you go in the room, they're going to spray this mist, and you're going to be COVID-free. And you go back out, you're going to be COVID-free. And they said, sponsored by, they just said, sponsored by Ralph Warnock for Senate. I mean, that junk is classic. He's like, I don't even need to say that, man. Let the dude talk. Let him just talk. But he's still high in the polls, folks. Hey, he's still gonna be a threat in his election process, which goes back to my point of the issue with the president.
Yeah,
we put people like this in office.
Correct. He hasn't went to any of the debates.
Oh, he don't want to go to a debate.
Don't want to go to a debate. Don't want to hear him talk. Don't want to tell his plans. Have you ever heard his son talk?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, a lot of the Republican Party, they will just put a black person in a place so they can get black votes. They basically like, if we can just divide any of the black vote, we can win. If we can just divide the black vote, we're gonna win.
But that's what it's like. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's like this in these other states.
Because they gonna get all the white vote.
Correct. They'll put.
I think what they were trying to do, they were hoping they could put somebody in there that they could control. That's why we got Herschel. That's why we have Vernon Jones.
Oh,
running.
You know, he know how to run a play. That's all they like. Herschel know how to run a play. He do is that. You know, he know how to run a play now.
Well, I mean, I agree with you say. It control or just is brainwashed.
Right.
Because he's a arch Trump supporter. I mean, he believes in everything 45 say, man.
Trump made me a million now.
That's a good man right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Herschel is the perfect example, weight ball, of the slaves that still don't know they free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He said still some understand. He said still some don't know that. Hey, Herschel, hey man, you free now, Herschel. Run, Herschel, run.
He know he freer than the broke Negro. That's what he say. He's like, that money made him free. He like, I wanted them now. That's what he don't know. That money though, he think it took away his blackness.
No, he not black. He OJ. Hey, Herschel don't think he black, man. Hell, man.
That when a black man know he made, like, I could kill a white woman and still not go to jail. That's what you like. I done made it. I'm the new Negro right here.
But he lied about his degree. You know what I mean?
Children he got.
He lied on the children. Denied a child. I mean, it's
3. He denied 3.
Denied 3.
He has 4 children. He only claimed 1.
Dang.
And the one he claims,
Woo!
not anything bad about it. Not saying that.
What is
That's a cop that not making anything saying about his son.
Yeah.
Boy, the
He's very
agenda written all
color
over him.
coordinated.
Very color coordinated.
Well, he wear matching outfits all the time. So I ain't never seen him on
very
TV.
color coordinated. He's just
That's wild.
I mean, so what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on Herschel, man? Does he have a chance to win? Do you think he gonna win?
I hope not.
That's all you can say, right?
Be an embarrassment to the state.
To the state of Georgia.
I mean, Warnock is just what he's done so far.
So is it just him against Warnock? Is them two that's running?
that's
Ain't
all-
no
that's all
other
them.
people to vote for?
No, that's
Herschel
it.
was going up against some legit
That's-
politicians.
Right.
That's all
And
they want to do. Is
everybody
black.
looked the other way and said, run, Herschel, run, and back Herschel 100%.
That's all you got. Run, Herschel, run. That's what he used to. Run, Herschel,
But see, the
run,
whole
Herschel.
thing is, I just think it goes back to what the governor said. You know, it's like rolling back the hands of time. You putting a big black buck up there to, you know, this is who we want. And everybody, because think about it now, these are educated people that are looking, this is a guy that's going to be one of the people that votes, and they're looking past every asinine comment that Herschel has said. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, do you think Warnock would be the senator? No, he wouldn't.
No. I mean, the thing is,
And the
when you
media's
a black
ignoring.
Democrat, you actually got to be capable. You got to be able to speak. You can't be up there fumbling as a black Democrat. A black Republican is set up because they be like, we about to win as a Republican Party anyway. We just need a couple more votes, or we need them to get a couple less votes for their black person. Either way, if we can divide these black people one way or another, we're going to win because all our Republicans is voting Republican still. Ain't no Republican going to look at Donald Trump and be like, this is the stupidest white dude we could possibly vote for. We got to do something better. But I do need to protect my money. we voting Republican. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they put, they always gonna vote that way. Black people be the ones where we like,
of it is,
we don't like this one key or that one key, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like them bills you was saying where it's always something attached, a rider to that bill that makes you something. Okay, well I am for abortion, but I don't want to kill no 8.5-month-old baby. That's that fine print where, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree. You can't yank an 8.5-month-old baby out. That must still a baby.
Right.
But, you know, you got to go one way or the other, you know, so. I mean, for me, Herschel Walker versus Warnock it's a no-brainer.
It should be a no-brainer.
Like, even if I don't know your policies, I just like, I can listen to somebody talk. It's certain stuff where I'm a grown man. If somebody come up and they got a mouthful of gold teeth and a Jerry curl, they could be trying to save my life. But the package they bring in that life-saving information is not a package that I'm going to open up.
Dang.
So, like, Herschel Walker, I mean, to me, it's like an obvious puppet in the way.
We got to go out and vote because what I see happening, they're looking at, Herschel Walker's going to be the swing vote.
Absolutely.
So, they're looking at, I kid you not, everybody in Georgia, Herschel could be a turtle and he would get the votes.
Absolutely.
So if we don't come out and vote, because you got to realize a lot of Democrats are Democrats in name only. So you're going to get a lot of crossover votes for Kurt Herschel. And I think that's the most, honestly, if I had a choice between Herschel winning and Kemp losing, if I had to pick one of them to lose, it would have to be the governor. Because Herschel.
I'm about to say, Herschel. It had to be Herschel.
It had to be Herschel because if Herschel wins, that vote, Biden won't get anything.
Zero. It'll be the whole Obama presidency again. It'll be the whole presidency again.
You can't let that down.
Which goes to my point of the president and what I was saying earlier about what's the more important vote. We all worry about the president, but we're forgetting about who's actually passing the laws.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Community.
Who's actually passing it?
But how do we overthrow the whole thing?
The whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody talking about how do we overthrow all of this.
They tried that on January the 6th, remember?
The system. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the people in the system is flawed.
So there's nothing wrong with Congress not being able to.
You're gonna get
vote for. The laws don't pertain to them. All them people in Congress, the laws do not really pertain to them. They don't pay taxes like we do. They don't have no conflict of interest. Once you in Congress, it's a green light on all conflicts of interest. Meaning whatever your business is, you can vote to make your money.
It pertains to the constituents of those senators and congressmen. That's what it pertains to, and that's why that vote is so important for those people. Yeah. But that's why I was saying earlier, we keep screaming about the presidency, but we're forgetting about the laws are passed by the House and the Senate, and those are the ones we do. You know, how did Marjorie Montgomery and her name? How did she win? And Marjorie Taylor?
No, she ran unopposed when she won.
I don't
exactly. Is that? Yeah, you're right.
Somebody should have ran against her.
My thing is, if you give anybody the power, and we go like, okay, Angela, we're gonna put you up here. No law is really gonna apply to you, but we want you to be honorable and not break the law. Yeah, you probably not gonna break most of them. There's gonna be a couple massage parlors that's gonna have to sign some damn disclosure agreements.
But real quick, man, we want to recognize Chef Ron that joined us at the table, man. What's up, Chef?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chef.
This daggone cook extraordinaire, Navy vet, and a very, 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 very dear friend of mine for better part of our lives, man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yes, sir.
You ain't learned how to cook in the Navy, did you?
Learned a little bit in there.
A little bit when you wasn't breaking necks. They was like, all right, we go. When you was laying low, they put you in the kitchen just to.
Real quick about that jump, man. I went to Nautica's when I went to Virginia, and we toured this doggone Navy ship. And I was walking through this ship, man. I was walking all the way to the bottom of the joint, man. And the first word I thought about was this guy right here. I said, man, how did they do this, bro? Yeah, man. I was like,
because it's tight when you get to the bottom. It's real tight, right?
You go to a room and it's like I don't know how many little bunk beds all in one round. Like, how did y'all look?
Somebody gets in there.
It was like 3 rows of bunk beds, just here, just here, just here, just here.
And you were big in the Navy too. It ain't like you just got it right.
Oh, it was a gang of them. I said, man, how did y'all do it, man?
And it got the smell once you get to the lower levels. What the smell like? What the smell worse on the lower levels? I'm about to say.
Smell diesel in the hole.
Smell diesel. And then that little brig in there, little jail down there, man. I was like, boy, if you got locked in that jail, boy, ooh.
Say the whole thing is jail,
literally
but that's
the
even
bottom,
worse, right?
bottom of the ship, right by the what was that jump, man? It was bad, man. I just couldn't imagine being in that joint, man.
And they believe in doing bread and water. If you got put in the brig, you was getting bread and water
For real?
for 6 days to 2 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot of the concepts they had was we're going to get your attention. And once we get your attention, we're going to get you on the program that we're rolling with. And I think in America, with a lot of these young teenagers, the attention is not gotten until they're in prison for the rest of their life. It's too late then. And I've always said I thought we should be like some of these other countries. Before you do anything you want to, before you can do whatever you want to decide to do with your life, you're going to go in the military for 2 years because there's certain things your mom and dad may have slacked up on teaching you.
Yeah.
That Uncle Sam going to make sure you got in your back pocket when you got ready to leave out.
Yeah.
I've always felt like there should be
I agree.
some type of military training for
I agree.
everyone. Because I think none of them have ever had discipline in their lives. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Nah, I would say, like you said, as a diversion to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds bad, but like you said, maybe sending them to the military gives them a structure as opposed to
Right, now, if you
sending
about
them
to
to
go to jail,
jail,
I got that.
giving them that structure. You know
I
what I'm
got
saying?
straight A's. I ain't need the military, man. I ain't need that in my life.
Yeah, you know.
Them A's
But
don't
some-
mean
Everybody
that.
don't need that military.
You know, but-
Everybody don't need structure like that,
And
man.
that's not to say
You need some
that's not to
discipline
say
in
that's
your
the
life.
answer either, because we've seen a lot of knuckleheads go in, and they were knuckleheads when they kicked them out.
Right, I agree there too.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Army, Navy, and Air Force.
But I think it would be cool if people could avoid jail time, seeing how the prisons is so full of able-bodied people, and that'd be a way for somebody to get a second chance. That would be great, second chance.
I mean, they should do something besides letting people out. You know what I mean? I was a story, and then we totally off topic. That's what we do on Classic Conversations. But there was a story the other day about this guy who had went to jail for assaulting the girlfriend. They let him out of jail. He came right back and killed her,
What?
holding the baby.
Holding the baby?
And they just let him back out for assaulting her. And she was trying to
Gave him bond. They gave him bond.
gave him bond.
And before,
Black
and
face?
let me
He
say
was
this,
black.
and the mom, his mom and the girl's mom told the police on him before he even
Before.
got picked up.
That's correct.
They called in,
Yeah.
let him know the things he was doing to the girl before she had the baby.
Wow.
So it's like they knew what was going on, and they still allowed it to go on.
Yeah, man.
And I also think that they should give like a reasonable wage for them working. Like 5 cents, that ain't nothing. 10 cents. I mean, for at least for them to be able to send money to the children, because you know most of them got kids or children, and like they should be able to help the family make a living, to help raise their child while they're in there properly, outside of just getting 5 cents an hour, like, or however much they get. It's not enough. I think they
Yeah,
should.
who should do that?
Talking about when they got the prisoners
When they,
working.
yeah, when the
But to
prisoners
actually
be working, they
for free
should.
because you're in prison.
No,
I mean, but as
that's
far
not the
as
same.
living-
That's slavery.
That's
And which
slavery.
prison is slavery?
I said
is.
earlier.
So they should get a decent enough wage to at least give the money to the children that they have outside of the prison world. You know, like. But that's a part of the
What's
system.
gonna make sure it goes to them?
Exactly.
Yeah, because he could get it, and then the guy sitting on 10,000, 20,000 when he get out to buy his next kilo. You know?
Yeah, so you would rather it go to the rich white people who run the prison and run the country and doing, because that's where the money going from. They just working the hell out these men and taking all the money because they selling them as slaves to other labor. Whoever getting their parking lot cleaned up or whatever these slaves is doing, prisoners, not slaves. They getting full money for this job that they doing, cutting yards or whatever it's doing. They getting paid for it. Not 5 cents an hour, but better than minimum wage.
Something.
So yeah, man. But anybody got anything else on the Herschel Walker guy?
This is PG or what?
No, it's just straight. Whatever you want to say.
The same fools that got out there and voted for Trump are going to be the same jackasses that's going to get out there and vote for Herschel Walker.
Absolutely.
Just because.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Just because.
Which is people who gonna vote Republican regardless.
Right. And that's the difference between a Democrat and a Republican in some cases.
They ride together no matter what.
Right.
Till the wheels fall off.
A Democrat will go the other way if that candidate. I mean, that's the reason why
especially a black Democrat, because we ain't. They not. Neither side is catering to us, so we really is up for grabs. Depending, we look at what the people might say sometimes. Cause they like, okay, yeah, they a Democrat, but I got a personal relationship where I know people that they getting over on. I know something about what's going on in this arena where I don't trust this person, so I'm gonna vote for the other person in this case.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I was finna ask though, pertaining to that, like, do you think if you identify as a Republican that you should just vote for the Republican just because that's what you identify as, or do you actually listen to what their policies are, and if it agrees with you, like, would you be a person to vote outside of who you represent or what you represent based off of the policies that you hear, or do you just go with, oh well, I'm a Democrat, so I'm just go with this?
No, they go based off of what their party is. It's no different than, like you said, we talking about the overturning the abortion. Like, at the end of the day, do the most people in that state even want abortion to be illegal?
Right.
They don't. But the governor's belief is this. And so the senators are now backing him, and they're also
what they've done is, you know, it used to be you went in there and you got your ballot.
Yeah.
But now you got to go in there and you got to declare.
Correct.
Are you Republican or Democrat? And they're going to give you the ballot
based
on your affiliation.
Wow.
So there is you can't cross it because they're going to give you the ballot.
Wow.
You a Democrat? Yeah. All right. Well, here go your Democratic ballot.
So you got to vote with them who you identify with.
Yep.
Right, that's forced. So, and it's wrong because if you actually like certain Republicans in certain races and other Democrats in certain races, you can't really switch over with that primary piece.
I guess you just leave that block blank if it's somebody you really don't want to vote for and you want the other party to win.
But leaving it blank just votes for the other person.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, it's
So
no
you don't vote. You
But
get to
you're
vote
not
the
supposed
other
to
person.
vote for people you don't know either. Man, I'm telling you, the voting was hard for me last time, man. When I went for this last primary, because I knew the lady running for superintendent because I knew her personally. So that's the only reason I went. I'm like, okay, I got this lady yard sign in my yard. All right, I'm gonna go vote for her. And then I'm like, all right, no Stacey Abrams. I know Ward now.
I work for her.
And then the rest of them, I'm like, boy, I'm like, man, I don't know who these people is. So I got a little ballot while I'm in line, and I'm looking at other people in line, seeing who I can cheat off of. Cause I'm like, somebody here got to know some of the other people.
I think they should have like little videos besides the names, or whenever you vote in, like 30-second videos or something, basically declaring what they are for and what they're against, you know, so we can get a feel of them, you know, but we should all do our research for each one.
There you go. My son, I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm going to do the early voting. I said, you want to roll? His answer was, nah, I ain't had a chance to do my research yet.
Right. You got to do your research.
He won't go vote until he goes and he going to look up everybody on that ballot. He going to literally look them up, see what they stand for, see what they're talking about. So he has, you know what I mean, he won't even go do it. You know what I mean? So,
I think they should at least just put people
yeah, you're right, number one fan. They got nonpartisan ballots.
If they put people pictures, at least I can vote for black people if I want, a Spanish person if I want, you know what I'm saying? If somebody tell me they're going to keep the city clean, I need a Mexican right here. I'm just saying, you can pick who you want to do who you want, you can pick them. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at pictures and I see an old, frowny faced white lady, I'm never gonna vote for her. I don't care. Republican, sour faces won't never get voted for. So sometimes, I'm just saying, I be going down looking for black names. I'm like, oh, this nigga named Kwanzaa? Okay. Kwanzaa, I'm safe with that one. You know what I'm saying? Keisha. I could vote for a Keisha. LaWanda. Okay, it's LaWanda.
Keisha is,
Right, yeah.
And if it's little Keisha, you gotta think twice.
Right, yeah. So
They gonna get the city right.
and then even on the flip side, you might see a picture of a white lady, but she got cornrows. You be like, you know what?
You want one with
I can
onions.
do that.
But you know the realness
the
of
struggle.
the realness of it is when we compare. I mean, what has this guy talked about? He's did every commercial he's did. He's riding Trump's dick. Yeah, me and Trump family, we get together. You know, I visit him often. Our families with friends. He's never ever said what the fuck he's gonna do.
Nah, he's not.
Or if
Yeah, he did. He gonna get rid of COVID with a spray. You hear that?
That's like.
Hey, you walk in the room, he gonna spray with his mist. And COVID is gone. That's what he
Not the
said, man.
sharpest tool in the shed.
Nah,
Oh my goodness.
but if we're not careful, he'll win.
But you know, he might run on like that handicap platform. You know what I'm saying? That he like ain't mentally together. I mean, did he play with a leather helmet back in the day? How old was Herschel Walker? Did they have leather helmet with that? Because I'm sure they did. They had a different concussion protocol back then. I would need him to actually get medically evaluated and make sure it ain't no remnants.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that part.
You know.
Oh, for real.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, man, from our recap conversation that I wanted to think about in terms of the Deshaun Watson case, right? The Deshaun Watson case brought up has created a media frenzy. Talked about every day, all the results. Talk about the women and all that stuff. But I thought about the situation in Florida, where you had a large group of people. I think it may have been almost 100 people. A lot of them got arrested for sex trafficking, and they included a bunch of Disney executives, politicians, millionaires, and that story went away so smooth, so quietly, no conversation.
Right.
This is sex trafficking.
Right.
But yet, we're talking about
A paid exchange.
a paid exchange, and it's
And they
like
wanna lynch you.
it's like a topic of this conversation nonstop. So this
thing
man has
is-
to. No matter, I don't care if he settles 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when this man retires, that's gonna always come up in the media thing. Deshaun Watson, he could have won 2 Super Bowls. I hope he don't in Cleveland, but he could have won 2 Super Bowls, and they're gonna say that the quarterback who back in 2022 had 20 sexual allegations that he said, you know what I mean? He's gonna always follow him.
Yeah.
But yet that case right there with all those with sex trafficking and these Disney executives, politicians, you ain't heard the story.
But
you
that's
don't hear the
'cause
story at all.
I'm pretty sure they settled out of court before it got to court. Disney was like, okay,
Facts.
squash all of that. Ain't none of this hitting the news like that. Now y'all do what you got to do in court. But you know, I'm
Money
pretty sure
talk.
money was exchanged.
Money
Well, a lot of
To
it,
keep
to me,
that
I
out.
think it's straight racism because you just got to look back to the retired Pittsburgh quarterback,
They
Roethlisberger.
want to keep bringing up Ben, man. Go ahead. KK did the same thing earlier.
A rapist is a rapist.
He had a gang of allegations, and his wasn't just hand jobs. He was getting the whole shebang. He was getting a happy beginning. He wasn't even getting warmed up or nothing. He was.
I'm not gonna joke about
He was
it. That was me. That was roast my ass.
He was trying to
I'm
get the
not
happy
gonna joke about
beginning.
rape. But that's what his allegations were, and he paid out, and it's not even a blip. He's just been suspended for the whole season, and they gave him 6 games. Retro rape.
And not to beat up.
He was never. He wasn't charged. He wasn't convicted of anything. He
talking
settled.
about
He
rape?
settled out of court,
and dog fight.
but he wasn't convicted. He wasn't charged. He settled out of court. Let's just keep that in
And
mind.
sex trafficking is bigger than
But
rape.
that's my point.
Do you not remember how they did Michael Vick for dog fight?
That's another example of what I'm saying,
for
though.
real?
But these guys were sex trafficking, which is supposed to be like a big red spot right now.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be something, you know what I mean, that we really focused on.
You're not ever supposed to
But
be able to
yet-
come back from this.
But yet, you ain't heard no more about it.
No more about it.
But just imagine if the headline read "Sex Trafficking at Disney World."
Wow.
Like literally, that's gonna shut down too much.
You know
Disney
that-
World making so much money. They're like, this is where you bring kids, and if it actually came out that a kid was ever abducted or that any sex trafficking was going on through,
So you're saying
You know,
I'm pretty
Disney
sure
World
they had to
so
go
what,
through
are
it.
we,
That's
so,
why
so what are we saying then?
I'm just saying, watch your kids, hide your wife, don't go to Disney.
I'm saying, but what does that say? That can go away because we're worried about.
It's money.
Disney.
It's all money.
And not to change the subject.
You know,
the Boy Scouts of America
Oh.
have the biggest
Lawsuit, right?
lawsuit for all kind of
Or the
accidents.
Catholic
In
priests.
America?
All they do with the Catholic priests is relocate them.
yeah, that's
They don't get charged.
Now that should be
They just
illegal. That
relocate.
should be illegal when
Yeah.
they
That's all they do.
scrub it under the rug and they know you've been playing around.
That's what they're doing. The Boy Scouts of America and the Catholic Church.
They
Gonna
send
pay
letters
out
out about that junk.
Billions.
Right.
We talking about
Disney
billions.
World got actual tunnels like underneath it. They got a whole underground system in Disney World, so I'm pretty sure they probably doing.
It might be set up for sex trafficking.
But they weren't even. It wasn't even sex trafficking at Disney. There was sex trafficking folks from across the way and bringing them over, and there was sex trafficking folks. You know what I mean? But my point is, they caught the people. They know who they are. They identified, and you don't hear the story no more.
Right.
That story should be on national news every day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you
But
a
you don't
sex
even hear it
trafficker
anymore.
and you work for Disney, you can't tell me you're not snatching a couple little kids sometimes from Disney World. You might get the kids and the mama at the same time.
Boy, you stupid.
I'm just saying, if you're a sex trafficker and you working out of Disney World, you gonna get you some. Come on, that's like saying I sell dope and then I be in the inner city, but I don't sell dope here. No, you sell dope, you sell dope. You got it on you, you got it on, you got the connects.
KK
I'm
said,
just
"Let me
saying,
show you
I'm
why
sure
they call
it's
me
people done
Big
went to Disney
Ben."
World and ain't came back.
KK said, "Let me show you why they call me Big Ben." Well, you wrong, KK. You wrong for that, man. Y'all leave he retired, man. Let that man go, man. Leave my quarterback alone.
He retired from football. He's still out here in the streets. He's still out here in the streets dating. He's still dating now. Don't think
Well, y'all leave my
wild.
quarterback alone.
you just ain't gonna give him nothing. You just ain't gonna do it on still the
think
sheets
with,
no more.
with certain things in America, it depends on what it is. They're only going to look so bad in certain situations on things.
Yeah.
Say it again.
In America, with certain situations, certain corporations, with politics and everything, I feel like when something drastic or something happens that tarnishes what people feel or think about somebody, they're going to control it. They're not going to let it get blown up too big where America is embarrassed about it.
Yeah. I mean, but
We've had some embarrassing moments.
yeah,
We're
we
like,
had
wow,
a lot.
they were involved in that.
But now let's flip that. Let's flip that just a second. What if it wasn't Disney executive? It was Jay-Z or some of your famous rappers or some of our famous black
Every
actors,
2
and they were
seconds.
involved in that sex trade.
Headlines.
Would that be on CNN every day?
Every 2 seconds.
Every day.
Yeah.
Let it be
Blast
somebody work for the
the media.
NAACP.
Oh.
Oh my God, they'd have been they'd be like the A is for anal.
That's kinda
one of those A's is for anal. That's what they.
That's kind of the point I'm making is who it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Who it was made the difference. You know what I mean? In terms of who they were, the race, the money. Sweat that jump around the road. You don't even hear about it no more. But all right, our last topic, man. JT wanted to make sure I brought this up. And it was about Father's Day. Father's Day just passed. From last week's show, man, if y'all saw it, we had a top 5, right? And so the top 5 was, what's your top 5 Father's Day gifts that you've ever given or received? And when I tell you it was the worst struggle I've ever seen,
Oh.
it was the first time in the history of this podcast that only 2 people had all 5. All the fathers, could nobody come up with 5 things they got for Father's Day, man?
It had to be
Or
socks,
giving.
underwears, and ties. There had to be 3
There was
of them.
always the 3.
Socks, underwears, and ties. Socks, drawers, and ties are what we did in my house.
Cologne,
The wallet.
a car.
Cologne would be another one.
Hey,
Avon
50,
cologne.
hey, 50 had a meme where he was like, even the commercials aren't catered towards things. They're home tools, improvements, and tools, and power
Dad,
stuff.
the Golden Corral.
And then he was like, for women, it's jewelry and sales, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah. Nah, I could.
Jay Galler and son, or
Yeah.
Jared. Get mom a Mother's Day bracelet at Jared.
They ain't got no man's Pandora bracelet. That
Yeah.
you got a little gun on one charm. Got a set of titties on another charm.
And then what the one guy was saying, if they did get you a nice gift, it really was a gift to put your ass to work. Like they may have bought you a nice barbecue grill, a tool set, so you can fix shit around the house.
Yeah.
It's never a gift that you really want personally. Yeah, it's for everybody.
It's for
Get you
everybody.
a set of jack stands.
Yeah. And then we can't really even have our day because I'm gonna tell you, you got a couple single mamas out. Thought that was just another day for them. I'm daddy and mama.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, we can't get one goddamn day out the year. You want both of them? You selfish bitch.
Damn.
Hey, just be real, man.
For real.
You got some angry women out there, bro. Don't want to give us credit for
Angry
shit.
men.
Yeah.
Angry man.
I thought I was.
But yeah, he wasn't talking about all women when he
No,
said
women.
selfish bitch. He was just talking
Y'all
about
know who you are.
You know who you are. You know who you are out there in the world.
Make that child go make you a Father's Day card. You wrong for that shit.
Right.
So let me ask this question. Father's Day, number one, for those that are fathers, us three, you say you're not a father.
No,
Obviously you're
I
not
got
a
a couple
father.
people call me Zaddy.
Zaddy?
But that don't count. Zaddy, you just pay one bill. You don't really pay all the bills.
So the question, that's funny. How do you feel about being a father? What is most important to you as you're raising your children? And how do you feel about Father's Day almost being considered almost like the forgotten holiday?
Oh man.
Double O, start with you. How do you feel about being a father? What's the most important thing about raising your children? And do you feel like it's a forgotten holiday?
I think being a father is about the most awesomest thing that's ever happened to me. I know being a father has kept me out of trouble and always kept me on the straight and narrow, trying to do the right thing, trying to be a positive example. And like most fathers, I think we want our children to do better than what we did.
Right.
You know, accomplish more than what we accomplished, and be better people than we are.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to see your child go on and do great things or achieve things that you only dreamed about, it's inspiring, and it kind of makes you feel good to know that you did do something right in life. You know, there's an old saying, let our work speak for ourselves. And, me and Angelo, we kind of basically grew up together. And we all were raised with, when we left the house, you represented your mama and daddy. And it's still to this fact, you want your children to represent you, but then set their own legacy higher than what yours was.
True.
Real quick, that was beautiful.
That was
I
good.
got my man, comedian Mario Torres over here, man. He been in the cut because he hosting tonight. But Mario,
Come get this one, 'cause I ain't got no kids. I ain't got
real,
Come get this one.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting out. Go on, stay down there.
real quick,
Come
Mario.
on, he got a pistol. He got shit to do. Come on, man. He got shit to secure. Come on, man. Let's go.
How do you feel about being a father, Mario Torres? What does it mean to you?
What it means? Great question. It means patience.
Oh, that's a good one.
When you become a father, that's when you really mature a little bit more, which you should. I think that's the best thing I did. It's the best thing I had going on, because it teaches you to be responsible. And it teaches you to motherfucking compromise. You got to really save. You got to really, it's not about you at some time. So when it comes down to being a father, that's your moment. Whether it be a son or a daughter, it's your moment to mature and grow up a little bit. And that's what it means to me, man. Shit, I grew up.
Now, another question. Do you think that Father's Day is the forgotten holiday, and why?
I think it's never been one. We ain't never had to fight for shit. We ain't never had to fight for votes. We ain't never had to fight for rights, man. As a man, we didn't just take that shit off the map. Just take it off.
Take it off.
Just take it the fuck off. Why? Because I mean, if you really look at it, like your birthday is really a symbol. If you a father, when your birthday come, that's really your Father's Day.
That's really your Father's Day.
That's it. You can cancel all that other shit. That's it.
Damn.
I'm just saying, that's it. Because you're gonna go out to eat, you're gonna get some pussy. It's the same thing you're gonna do on Father's Day. It's the same shit. I mean, what the fuck? Tubes, dinner, chicken, ass.
Dinner.
That's it. Head. Hell, you get the same shit on Mother's Day, really. Head, ass, chicken. It's all. Just take all that shit off. Hell yeah.
As you prepare, because you got young kids, you know, as raising your children, man, what's your thoughts in terms of raising your children? What's your goals for raising your children?
To teach them to speak up. Never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to be wrong. Mm-hmm. We always want our kids to be right all the time. Tough, and right, and stronger than any motherfucker. But sometimes that ain't the case. Sometimes your child might be weaker than the other ones, but you still got to teach them to be strong in some areas. So I think we lack compassion. We lack responsibility. We lack understanding when it comes to teaching young men that, because even though we got a son that might be 10 or 11, that he's becoming a young man. And when he become a young man, you got to teach him that at a young age, how to compromise and understand, because some of our young brothers ain't even making it to see 19 and 20. Mm-hmm. So it helps for us to not feel like we got to badger our kids to be as tough as probably sometimes we wasn't. Hell, we ain't did a lot of shit sometimes we try to push our kids to do. Right. To be honest. Shit. Mm-hmm. I ain't finna teach your ass to do shit that if you don't want to do it, goddamn it, don't do it. There's a lot of shit I don't want to do. And I don't do it. So, there it is. I don't know is that a high question? Okay, cool.
No, that's good.
That was outstanding, brother.
Hey. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is too. We need more platforms like this to ask, because every young gentleman or every father, or it might not even be a father. Every person that has something positive to say might not even have no kids. We have to really listen to motherfuckers, and that's where we lost it as humans. Don't you know where the shit really got fucked up at? When we really took religion out of school. That's why schools started getting shot up. If you really think about it, when they took prayer out of school, that's when it happened. Schools wasn't getting shot up when we was in school, but we prayed every morning because we was there at that time. Let's pray right now. Pledge allegiance to the flag, mount. Then we're gonna pray, Lord, whatever the fuck, and then. But now they took all that out of there, so that's when the chaos came. And we gotta teach our children that too. Like, come together really on the platform that's bigger than school. Shit like this, like the internet now, podcasts now, social media now, that's big. But say some real shit on there. Yeah. Don't be on that posting all this ignorant. It's enough ignorant ass shit out here in the world anyway. Right. Post something real. Post something. You ain't no sucker because you real. Right. You ain't no sucker because you can say something like, speak positivity to a motherfucker. You ain't, help somebody. It might be somebody that can't read. You don't supposed to laugh at them. Help them. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. Like, be that type of guy. Don't be into the guy that's in the school laughing at the motherfucker that's less fortunate than you. Right. Grow the fuck up, man. Because you could not have shit either. So, teach our kids that shit.
Love it. Yep. Love it. Appreciate it.
Anytime. I'm hosting the show. Yeah. I love y'all, man.
MJ, what you got, brother?
Man, fatherhood, I look at it as greatest joy. Number one, your greatest joy. I think it's like, and I'm not saying if you don't have kids, you're not a man, but a big part of manhood to me is rising to the occasion and taking care of your family, your wife, your kids. And I think the greatest thing is, a lot of people like them when they're little. I like them when they can actually start learning, and you see that they soak up what you tell them, because you know how many times you've been riding in a car and your kids back there talking to their friends, and they'll tell them something that you told them, or just in life as you see them start growing or help them with a project and they get that A and excitement. But I think the greatest joy to me with fatherhood is when they move out of a house and they've gone to college or in their career, and you see them start using the life lessons that you put out. I think that's one of the biggest things of fatherhood, because you want them, you're getting ready to catch them, and oh no, they may stumble, and you see them do exactly what you told them to do, or they put their own spin to it, but you see that you taught them morals, and then and not knocking anybody else, but you see some other kids maybe falling to the side, and you see the choices they make with their friendships, and I mean, that's, to me, is fatherhood. I mean, it's all encompassed, man. I love it. To me, if you haven't done it, you miss out on a whole lot. Yeah.
So why do you think, with all that being said, all we get is a big piece of chicken?
I think really, because you got to think about it. Think about it, though. Be real. When last week we talked all that shit, but think about it. In most households, not all households, so women don't kill me, but in a lot of households, it's either your wife or you giving the kid the Bible gift. And like I just whispered to you earlier, the gifts that I get now that my kids have their own jobs, and or the ones that's in college and they'll buy you something because they know you like it. It might be a fishing lure or something like that, or some new arrows, whatever it is. It's like, that's what's special. To me, as a man, fatherhood, you don't get your gifts until your kids out the house with. And then it's like, and the main gift they give you is like, you might get 3 or 4 calls, 5 calls a week from the kids. And I pity the people that don't have that, not pity them, but it's like a lift me up. So I'm retired now, so I live for that shit, So like I said, I think that's the biggest thing. The gifts you get, it's not really the monetary value behind it. It's the fact they know you, know what you like, and they get you that. It's cool as shit.
I think it also got a lot to do with the household structure is totally different from the actual black family the way it used to be in the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. It's totally different now. It used to be an old saying, you can see a kid going astray, and once that child's mom it takes a lot for your mom to wash her hands with you. Your daddy will be done with you in a heartbeat after you ran your head up against the wall a million times and cost the family money, in and out of jail. But your mama's still going to believe that you're going to get your shit together and prove everybody wrong. It takes a lot for a black woman to turn away from a child and to give up on them. And I think that's the reason why more children, when they make it, they say thank you, mama. But it was daddy who was out there throwing the football to you and teaching you how to swing the golf club. I kind of feel like the household, you're lucky if you see both parents there now.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of co-parenting going on more than anything. And then you got some kids, mom and daddy get a divorce, he go get married and start a whole new family with somebody else and neglect the family he already has.
Thanks.
We see more and more that the black foundation of the black family has been broken years and years ago, and you'll have a whole bunch of arguments about where it happened. But if you remember, you had those black families needed help, but if daddy was in the household, they didn't get the help. So you got the mama getting all this pressure on her. I'm watching these children do without this and that and that and that and that. She'll put the man out so the children can have some kind of source of income or some kind of help from the government. It started way back then.
Yeah, that's how they structured it.
And it's structured like that still to this day.
Right, sticking, it's stuck.
Marie KK said, I love being a father. I think it's important to teach our kids to take pride in themselves, to let them know everything they do not only represents them, but the entire family as well. Mm-hmm. I think you have to teach your daughters independence and self-respect. Mm-hmm. You have to teach your sons to be respectful, how to defend themselves against any assault. As far as holiday goes, I don't need Father's Day. My children's love and respect is recognition enough.
No.
I feel that.
That's nice.
The weight ball, were you raised by your father, mother and father?
I knew my father. They divorced when I was probably about 5, and he still lived in my same neighborhood. So I knew him. I mean, it wasn't. You know, I didn't really have no strong relationship with him. It was definitely, you know, I mean, I was at one point when I was grown, I was really like thinking like, let me think of like, what did I learn from my daddy? And like, I really didn't, like, it wasn't one thing that I could really point to and be like, yeah, my daddy taught me this. Nah, I mean, he might have taught me how to play some chess. He might have taught me chess. I ain't never really got good at it, so I guess anything he taught me, it ain't stick. But I know how the rook move, L shape, you know what I'm saying? Bishop go this way, queen go wherever they want, you know, I know that much. So you know, for me, it is a different thing. I mean, I did have mentors. I got an older brother who actually 16 years older than me. So for me, he was more of the father figure because I would see him more. And he being 16 years old, he is a man compared to a child, you know, growing up. So he was always old enough. And I definitely learned a lot from him, you know. So yeah, I got a different feel for fathers. I do understand. And then all of my partners, it's funny, every friend I had, they had both parents in their house. And it never really occurred to me till I got older. I'm like, man, y'all got two daddies, but I was the only one, like, I was the first one jumped off the porch. Like, I was working younger. I always worked in high school. Like, they got grown before they really got their shit. They had to have kids. And I ain't got kids because it might have been part of the way I grew up. I'm like, I don't need that stress. But they ain't get their shit together until they had kids. And they start really, but like from the time I was in high school, it was understood that you better go handle your business. You can't be leaning on your mama your whole life. So when it comes time, you got to get up out of here and handle your business. So, I mean, my mama was a real nigga now. She wasn't no punk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She worked 2 jobs on a regular. So I got my hustle from her because when I got one job, I had 2 jobs. And my whole life, I've been a 2 hustle. Even if you ain't getting paid from both jobs, I'm going to work one for the money and work one for the longevity of building something. You know, whatever it is, one going to pay the bills. That extra 20 to 40 hours a week you do above the normal 40 is where you really gonna solidify a future. So I'm always on 2 hustles at least. I mean, I got all that from my mama. So, I mean, not no hate on my daddy. He bought me a suit.
You remember that suit?
He bought me a suit when I got my PhD. Oh. Literally, I'm doctor. Hey. And he sent me $500 for a suit.
Yes, sir.
He sent me $500, and I'm so cheap. I bought that mother for like $300. And so I was like, yeah, I don't need $500 worth of suit. I ain't got no job that good yet. Nigga. I go to Men's Warehouse. I'm gonna spend all $300 of this on this suit, where the same black shoes have been had, and I'm gonna trick off on this other $200.
Sunshine, you had any relationship with your father? Do you ever, you raised by your mother solely or what?
Yeah, I was solely raised by my mother. Outside of the age of, I think my dad left around 4 when I was like 4 years old. But he's always, not always, I actually didn't like my daddy at one point because he wasn't there, because I seen so much stress happen to my mom, and then, you know, her try to do everything for us, 4 children, and it's just her. But my dad is more present now. We have a better relationship than we used to, and I actually learned a lot from him. He's actually here for me, supportive of me, and it's a good relationship, so I'm thankful for that. But in the beginning, up until I got grown, like, he was not there. So Mexicans ain't shit either, okay?
Oh, you got a Hispanic daddy?
Yeah, my daddy Mexican, but he's some shit now. Like, you know, men have to mature. Like, women mature faster than men, but it still depends on the individual themselves, you know, on what they want to do and how they want to carry out their life. So I applaud both of them, regardless of their flaws or whatever. Like, they're still here for me. They still support me, and I love both of them. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Dwayne, what does fatherhood mean to you?
Oh man, well, I'll say this. Yeah, they could take the day away. I don't think it would, you know, it would do anything. I don't think it's a special day for black, you know, or any man, because, you know, I think I even think what MJ says. I think that once my daughter gets grown and she's developed and she's working, my gifts might be better. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's you know, what you want to eat. I might have to make it myself, you know what I'm saying? But they'll buy the groceries, you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, what does fatherhood mean to me? It means the ability. It's unlimited, man. I think that my daughter's potential is unlimited because I have the ability to be in her life. I know my dad. My dad was in my life up until I was like a teenager, and then we fell out for a long time. And currently, I don't talk to my dad. You know what I'm saying? But it's more of the cycles. Okay, so let me say this. I think that we as black people have a lot of cycles, a lot of ways that we're taught that are passed down from generations that are just bad, you know what I'm saying? And I think that they affect us in different ways. So my dad literally allows other people to dictate his actions, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why we fell out was his fault, you know what I'm saying? Now, he may say that I wasn't being in a child's place, or that I understood more than I needed to. He'll say something like that, and I'll say at the end of the day, you're the adult, you know right from wrong, and even when I mess up, you're my dad, you should forgive me, you know what I'm saying? So these are things that I now do for my daughter, and I can see the potential in her, like I made this reference to him one time, for I'm 38 years old, but in high school, even before high school, I played sports every season. I played baseball, I played football, I played basketball, I won a swim team. So every year of the from, let's say, 10 up to 22, because I played baseball in college, you know what I'm saying, I played some sort of sport. I can't tell you how many times my mom came to my game and she worked 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? She came to games. Sometimes I didn't even know she was coming, and she would show up.
Yeah.
And and I remember this vividly. When she showed up, I played better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was vividly different. You know what I'm saying? She came to one game, and I think I hit like 3 home runs. You know what I'm saying? It was vividly different when she showed up. Now my dad knew all this. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't live in the same state, but he lived in North Carolina. He was like 3 hours away from me. So but with that being said, he has never once seen me play any of those sports. Like never attended a game. Yeah. Never, just showed up. Never called and was like, "How was your game?" You know what I'm saying? Never gave anything like that. So, for my daughter, that's one of my joys. I get to go to everything she does. I'm there, whether it's, a parent-teacher conference or it's a sporting event. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm her biggest cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? And she comes to me and she talks to me. We actually talk daily, you know what I'm saying, for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day about the things she has going on, her friendships, you know what I'm saying, her ups, her downs, how she feels about school, and even things she's just doing, and she's only 10, but we have these conversations daily, and I've been doing this for a long time, because I take her to school, I pick her up from school, you know what I'm saying. These are sacrifices I felt like that, that now that I have the ability to be a father, that I can give things to my daughter, and I believe that she is going to flourish. So I believe her potential is unlimited, because she has the ability to know me and get me 100%, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to my father was, 3 hours away, and I don't feel like he gave 10%, you know what I'm saying? But I think that those things that he did, I can now do the opposite, and it shows and helps with the success that allows me to be a father, and I feel like I said, it shows in my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you said. To me, that did help me grow up. Like me having a child.
You learn something.
Yeah, I learned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it helped me grow up, and it helped me be a better person. So, you know, I'm here for it. You know, and I'm not having no more kids, but that's besides the point. And in general, I can pour into her, and her potential is unlimited. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
So
Happy Father's Day, Dwayne.
Well, for
Appreciate
me,
it.
man, you know, I think being a father is just the greatest gift on God's green earth, man. I love every waking moment. You know what I mean? I'm never have been that parent. You know, you hear folks say, man, I can't wait for my kids to leave the house, man. My kids ain't got to go nowhere. You know what I mean? I know they are, but I love it, man. I live for my kids. Everything I do is for my kids. You know what I mean? You know, I could live a simple life. You know what I mean? But what I do, I bust my tail because I want them to live a better life. You know what I mean? I want them to have all the things I didn't have. I want them to never have to want for anything. You know what I mean? I love it, man. Fatherhood means everything. And, you know, is that, you know, a lot like what MJ said last week, man, you know, just the time. And, you know, my 14-year-old gave me a hug the other day. It wasn't even Father's Day. And he just gave me cause, you know, once kids get older, they don't feel like, you know, you can't touch them no more. You can't kiss them. I used to love kissing my boys, you know what I mean? I used to, you know, kiss them on the forehead, whatever, you know what I mean? But, you know, now they get older, you know, they get that men thing, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But my 14 gave me a hug. I'm on him real hug. I didn't realize how strong he was either because he's so slim, you know what I mean? But he hugged me and shook me. I said, God, dog, man. When I said, man, you just made my entire day. You know what I'm saying? Nothing can go wrong today because what you just did. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, it meant everything to me. You know, just something that simple. So that was a great Father's Day gift, and it wasn't even Father's Day. So, you know, it means everything to me. So, with that being said, man, we're going to jump right to the top 5. Top 5. Y'all get ready for this one now. Put your thinking caps on. Your top 5 Prince songs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5 Prince songs of all time.
I'm ready to go.
You gonna jump right in? I'm gonna jump right in.
I like
Purple Rain.
I know this gonna. But first, I like Bambi, Head, Lady Cab Driver.
That's the original. That's one.
I give you Head.
Yeah, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the old school Prince right there.
My favorite one was International Lover.
Okay.
International Lover. Shoot. I said Lady Cab Driver right? Lady Cab Driver. Let's see.
So he grew up in the cocaine Prince era. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the booty out the pants Prince right there.
Anybody out there?
Pump the stage Prince.
Anybody out there? Tell them what you did to International Lover. International. I can't say it. You get the gist of it.
You ain't even name the one.
No, wait your turn.
Okay, I'm about to say. I thought somebody was gonna have some overlapping ones. I ain't know none of them.
That was 5.
I ain't hear none of them either.
And I've seen them 3 times in concert.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You ready, Double O?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Darling Nikki.
Oh yeah.
If I Was Your Lover.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now we in the era I'm hip to a little
When
bit.
Doves Cry.
Okay. Yeah.
What was number 3?
When Doves Cry.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I see now that's the Prince I'm talking about right
Purple
there.
Rain.
Purple Rain.
yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, International Love.
Yeah.
So he done made a baby on that one too.
What you got, Wayball?
For me, I like what you was going with. But first I'm gonna do. He got a song. Is it called Adore or something?
Yeah, Adore.
Yeah.
That's one of the hot ones, right? It's like a ballad. Okay, that one right there is serious to me.
I like
That might be the best one because that's like a pure. That's got a lot of love in that song.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that one.
When Doves Cry is a good one.
Yeah.
Purple Rain, because I like the way they had that gangster, they had that teardrop come in his eye in the movie. It was the movie with the dude that made the movie. Right? That little gangster at the corner with the Adidas outfit. Anyway, what is the Do Me Baby?
Do Me Baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, y'all ain't said Do Me Baby. That one right there and Adore probably my top 2 favorites. So did I do 4 of them? Darling Nikki is a good one. You know, it's a little bit before my time, a little rock and rollish. I guess 1999 because I graduated in 1999, so that party like 1999. That was our theme song a little bit.
Right.
So I'll throw that one in there just for nostalgia purposes. But Adore and Do Me Baby is like way beyond the other one for real.
Sunshine, what you got?
Yeah, gotta hit him with the Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
I most definitely love Do Me Baby.
Okay.
I Wanna Be Your Lover. I like Kiss. And I'm gonna say When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry. D. Wayne, what you got, brother?
Yeah.
We gonna go with
Little Purple Rain.
what? Diamonds and Pearls? What's that?
Diamonds.
Oh, you got We all like, oh, that's a good
My
one
Little
too.
Red Corvette.
The Little Red Corvette. Yeah.
Yep.
What else? Most Beautiful Girl in the World.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 3. Of course, everybody wants to swim in Lake Minnetonka, so Purple Rain.
Yes.
Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah. And then last but not least,
Do Me Baby.
No. I can't even think of the name of the song, but listen.
Sing it.
The song that Prince had on Batman with Michael Keaton, the first one. Okay. I can't remember the song, but I had the single.
Yeah, I don't
okay.
know what
I
it
literally
is.
had
Had a
the
lot of
tape.
sound effects to it.
Yeah, I had the tape, and I used to listen to it. Because I used to listen, I watched
you had the
Batman
tape?
a lot too. I had the Batman tape too.
I didn't know you in the era of the tape.
Yeah,
Tape.
you know, I'm
with the devil in the pale
in the pale moonlight. You like that? That's the Batman I like. You know what I'm saying? That's the Batman I grew up on, and I love that movie, man. I love that Batman. I love that Batman. And like I said, I had that single and I played it to death. I think my tape broke.
Yeah, I saw that
You know what
earlier.
I'm saying? So it is what it is.
I think that song called Bat Dance.
He the only one that got Bat Dance in
And
the top
Bat
5.
Dance.
Out of all the Prince songs.
What
he's
about you,
What's the one on the
Angela?
Batman soundtrack?
JT chimed in.
Hey, JT.
JT said, being a father means more to me because of what my father was not to me.
Right.
That's deep.
what he said. Mm-hmm.
And his top 5 is International Lover,
Yeah.
Kiss,
Kiss.
Raspberry Beret, Suarez,
That's another one that popping right there.
When
yeah.
Doves Cry, and Adore.
All right, somebody that Adore is so tight, man. I was like,
I
yeah,
gotta go listen to that.
all that song is
Right
amazing.
now.
Number 1 fan got Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, Wanna Be Your Lover, International Lover, and Let's Get Crazy.
Let's get crazy.
Yeah, Let's Get Crazy go bananas too.
Yeah.
He said hard to pick 5 from Roger Nelson. I know that's right, boy.
It is.
Is that his real name?
Yeah, Prince Rogers Nelson's the real name.
Well, before he went to sign and everything,
Yeah,
it was Roger
yeah.
Nelson.
His name's Prince. Prince Rogers Nelson.
We forgot about one.
What you-
I would die for you.
Yeah.
That's what you. Yeah, okay.
Nobody beats his ass in concert. Hands down. Plays every instrument.
JT said the whole Purple Rain album. Yeah. My Aunt Elena said Purple Rain says it all. You tell the number 1 fan took you to your brother's first Prince concert. That's right. My first ever concert, number 1 fan took me and my brothers to. That's right. Prince. First time I saw Prince, The Time, and Vanity 6.
Yes, sir.
Lord, have mercy. Vanity 6.
That was the shit back then.
That's all I can say about that.
content.
So was Vanity in Vanity 6?
Oh, yeah.
Is that where Vanity came from?
Yeah,
So what,
Vanity was the
did
main
all of them
singer.
have different numbers? It was Vanity 1, Vanity. It was only one Vanity, right?
Abalone came afterwards, but Vanity 6 was the name of the group. But her name was Vanity. They called them Vanity 6.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, where the 6 came from, I don't know.
Back then, whoa.
Yeah, I know Vanity. I watched, was she Bruce Leroy girlfriend? Wasn't that Vanity?
Yeah, that's Vanity.
Yeah, and then she was in a couple other movies. Action Jackson might have been boning her in one of the movies. I don't know. Was
She was in a couple of them after
Might
that.
have been
I don't
Action
know.
Jackson or something. I know Vanity. That was that 80s hot. It was only about 2 black girls in the 80s. Her and Ray Don Chong was in a couple.
Yeah.
Sheila E, boy, my girl, boy. I was in love with Sheila E, boy. Oh, we out in love with Sheila E. But then y'all got me my model girl. She was back there too. She was married to the what was the prison movie? You know what I'm talking about? Jane Kennedy. Yes, Jane Kennedy was the baddest thing walking back then, boy.
Yeah, delicious, boy.
So I got Do Me. I got Little Red Corvette. I got Adore. I got When Doves Cry. And Purple Rain was it, man. Purple Rain, boy. That was it, man. When he did Purple Rain concert, bro, it was over, man. Hey. I mean, last Prince concert I went to, boy, he had like he wasn't gonna do Purple Rain, boy. He went off stage. You know, he always go off stage at the end and come back. But this time he went off an extended period of time. We were like, hey, man, he tripping, man. I ain't moving my seat. I said, he gonna sing Purple Rain. I said, this joke, I gotta run backstage. About 15 minutes later, he came back out there with Purple Rain. I was like, all right, now it's a Prince concert.
Nah, it's all right, though.
Now it's a Prince concert.
That's a classic. That what's the one y'all keep on naming that start with that good bass? Like, is that what's the
Doves Cry.
That's When Doves Cry.
Yeah, that one, boy. That was the start of it. Set the tone on that mug right there.
Man, Prince band, man. That band period was just absolutely phenomenal. JT said we're gonna call in, but the phone still connected to Will's phone, so that's why he ain't call in tonight.
And people talk junk, but he on almost all his albums played every instrument. Every single, even though he had a band, he played all the instruments on his actual song.
Yes, right. That's correct.
I mean, he's definitely talented. What I will say,
I don't think there's been in our era any musician that is actually as talented. Now I'm not taking that away from Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is an entertainer. There's a difference.
Prince a musician.
You're a musician.
like for me,
Hands down, I think he's the top.
it's something about his genre of music that don't always speak to me. Like I like the ones that's got more of that kind of 70s, 80s kind of sound, or the ballads, but like the rock and roll kind of sound never was really my style. So like I compare, like when I say who is like Prince to me, and it's not because of his dancing, but it's like to me Stevie Wonder and Prince is kind of the two people that I would compare. Not like Prince obviously is more active in his style of interpreting it, but in the way that Stevie Wonder play all them different instruments, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Stevie was
And the way his sound changes, you know what I'm saying?
Stevie was
sound ain't never the
ultra
same.
talented. Ain't no question.
And when it was assembled, you got to realize too, he has a whole catalog of music you'd never even touched. Now that's somebody that once
whole
his family
catalog.
gets together, yeah, he's got music he never even put out.
You talking about Prince?
Yeah, Prince. And dude, like
No, yeah, they bought that from the it was the thing, the sister, and
the sister
had control, and they bought the whole catalog from her. So it's gonna be controlled. So I'm sure it's a matter of time. You know, but yeah, Prince was a bad boy, man, no question. Mario, you got top 5 Prince songs, man?
Doves Cry, Erotic Dancer.
He was thinking about this, but
Erotic
he knew this already.
Rock City come alive.
Hold on. That's it.
He named 2 at least those.
They got 2.
Well, we all said Doves Cry, I think.
Okay.
We did all say Doves Cry.
1999, Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, When Doves Cry, Adore, Do Me, International Lover. Come on, man. It's Prince, man.
All them. Put all them on the list there. Right.
Fucking black people.
They just started the next show.
JT said Raphael so Deeks puts him in the mind of Prince. Wait, Ball, you got anything you want to promote, man? Anything going on next? What you got going on? Where you at? Where to follow you?
I got, you know, man, you got to follow me, man. I got shows. They be on my calendar. Something.
Where they follow you at, Wait Ball?
Yeah, thank you. Follow me at Wait Ball, just like it sounds like 8 Ball. Put a W in the front. WEIGHTBALL. You'll see all my shows. You know, if you got some pictures, you want to DM me the pictures. I promise I'll keep them sacred. I'm here for you.
He said, I'm here for you. Double O, you got any closing words, man? Anything? You got any closing remarks?
Really?
Not really? Nah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
All right, ain't nothing wrong with the golden rule.
What was the question?
Just any closing remarks where they can follow you at? Next shows, anything?
Mario Torry. Tory. Mario is pretty easy to spell. Tory, all social media platforms. Right here. Uptown, I'll be here on Tuesday nights. Bam, got him.
There it is.
Yeah. Show the fuck, Will.
You here every Tuesday now?
MJ, what you got?
Okay,
This is something that's more on a serious tip. A lot of people are purchasing guns. Don't take it for granted. A gun is like anything else. You wouldn't put skis up and don't touch them and just jump on skis and go down a mountain. I had a friend recently that had an accidental discharge after she purchased her weapon. And take the weapon, and as we used to say, finger fuck it. In other words, take the bullets out and work the weapon, practice unloading it, loading it. Don't be distracted while you're loading it or unloading it, because it was a very bad situation because she very easily could have shot because her children were in the home. The round went through the room. I'm not going to make it dramatic. It wasn't. It went through the wall and went in the garage. But the only thing she could have killed was a car, but it could have been different. So when you're handling firearms, treat every firearm like it's dangerous, because it is. Don't assume that it's unloaded. Never dry fire unless you, like, if you got a cylinder, a revolver, it's easy to just look at it. But if you have any magazine-fed weapon, drop the magazine, rack it, lock it. If there's somebody else present, hand it to them, let them look at it to make sure there's nothing in the magazine well and nothing in the chamber. Then you can show whatever you're gonna do. Treat every weapon like it's loaded. That's all I got.
That's true.
Very true.
I agree with you.
Hey, listen, we talked a lot about things we can do. The key words, man. Think globally, vote locally. Think globally, vote locally. Your president, somebody said earlier, is nothing but a CEO. So we got to stop talking about what the president. What's your senator doing? What's your congressman doing? What's your state people doing? What's the Board of Education doing? Those are the ones we need to watch out for. Those are the ones you need to vote on. Those are the ones you need to know about. Yeah, I mean, you want to change the education system, you got to vote the right people in the Board of Education system. Yeah, I mean, you got to know who you're voting for. Think globally, vote locally. With that being said, man, Classic Conversation with Jae Tea and Lo, and we out.
That's a cop.
And my bad, man. And ask a cop, my bad, brother. Appreciate it.
Great show.
With Jae Tea and Lo, you never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.